stop. Yep, we here now. And the ancestors said to fuck some shit up. So here we are. Check it out. Is it the Great Reset or the Great Awakening? Great America or make America great again? Zombie apocalypse or a space invasion from an alien, or is it enemy or a fake friend? Artificial intelligence and clones are scriptural. Is it miracle or a spell cast magic ritual? Is it religion or is the path spiritual? Is the class pan-African but status aboriginal? I'm not here to debate or be argumentative. A little bit of common sense to dictate we are innocent. Their intent is to slip. The start of is if they swift with our children who's being robbed of their fifth. Human trafficking, child sacrifice, adrenochrome, corrupt government in position to defend its own. You part of the resistance for sure. They go sit a drum for a lie. Fact checking, but I been in a zone since I been home. Been on some let's chant down Babylon, Jericho, whatever name you give it, but let's rally on. With or without you, I'm still gonna tally on. They say this is the end time, so I'ma end the finale strong. Social media got you foolish, been a metaverse. Before the earth fully heals, it's gonna get hella worse. Got to be the living word, cut out that dead letter curse. So when you spit it to existence, manifest a better verse. In the light of the full moon, you'll soon see ToLU'S here, full blown, a black sun, pour doom down on these Molech worshippers, burglars of the eternal furniture of the temple of the grand furbisher. Elijah was the precursor. Y'all didn't hear him though. Instead, y'all condemned him as if he were a criminal. Whether mothership or mother wit, we back with a vengeance. Return of the ancient ones, American engine. Operation Mockingbird, the same thing as Hunger Games. The shortage of food, truly the cause of the hunger pains. Is who honestly a doctor? Are they phantoms of the opera proctors of Silicon Valley? And Big Pharma is Operation Naomi, America's top thing that poses for the MK Ultra program. And these doses of nanotech, these testers of swabs up their noses from youngest to oldest to inoculate this COVID. Are they the deep state or are we in a deep state? We say we got our eye open, it's more like we sleep wait. Is it about enlightening or do you expose shit for clout and lights, which opposes a true socialist with this double-edged sword? I'm a true vocalist. I'm supposed to spit war upon you globalists and your 21 and 2030 agendas as the women weep for me. I'm a worthy avenger. In the light of the full moon, you'll soon see ToLU'S here in full bloom, a black sun pour doom down on these Molech worshippers, burglars of the eternal furniture of the temple of the grand furbisher. Elijah was the precursor. Y'all didn't hear him though. Instead, y'all condemned him as if he were a criminal. Whether mothership or mother wit, we back with a vengeance. Return of the ancient ones, American engines. Respect to all the real Aboriginal Neezies out there. Keep on fighting, y'all. Feathers up.
My work is to love. That is it, nothing else. It's just to find a way to express love in every moment, in every transaction, if you will, of life. And nothing more. That can be done through music, it can be done through art, it can be done through conversations like this.
Oh, Sharice, how are you feeling? All should be balanced. Great spirit willing. As master of ceremony, I rise to my feet and take 3 deep breaths before I proceed to speak. Exhale first to the zenith, ground and the sun. Next ancestors who left or have yet to come. Each person has a specific vocation and mission to carry out. Is better with imagination and vision. Everyone's task is unique and shan't be replaced. They may copy property, yet spirit can be traced. Footprints washed away, imprint can't be erased. Image may be tarnished, but aura can't be defaced. I'm just like you, like we back in the day again. Time and distance separated us, but we stay friends. Our mistakes and poor decisions we made amends. You took trips from the Chateau VA when I was caged in. That's a whole bunch of driving visits with ritual. Kept me with a visual, effect was residual. Our words reciprocal, visible in the physical. From the annals of she steps up from the biblical. Who show finds a wife, finds bride's a good thing, one who's sure to feed you bread, wine, and will bring a crown to your head, prepare the heavens with you and could sing. Songs to a heavy heart, she happens to be my hood fling. You are my first love, although you are my second wife. Things happen for a reason, no second guessing life. I'm still learning though, that's why I question life. And in the same breath I walk in purpose, destined life. Born with the gift, yet you the reason why I bless the mic. With the gods, Raquel Allah at his best on test night. Slightly digress, right? There's an impediment. My praise of the great matriarch is the rarest. Cherish the day, it's the night you embellish. I stand corrected, both dynamics we relish. Your hair's a true blue stone, your complexion is reddish. You are the sight of new light as this dark old world perish. Come around, we stay in madness and mayhem. Just wanted to add on to your fresh start this AM. Together we radiate divine light as they spray chems. Continue to shine bright, no intention is what we pay them. So make it your business to be wise, be stimulating, be excited, share new ideas. And when you face it, despicable realities of others is fictional. Daughter of the great mother, don't ever be predictable. No matter how much things seem inexplicable, I'm not going nowhere, I'ma always be here with you. You're just beginning, do you know? No one's ever found limits to potential. No matter how clever they may try to control climate, you design weather, the weight of the feather. You are the sublime measure, structural, hearing and coherence in music, the house of Heru and its acoustics. You're the cause of why when I see water, I see skies. No coincidence that Sharice is she rise. Crazy how I phrase these words so subtly. The annals of she, yours truly, Tuttle she. We must return to what we always are, to the knowledge that we are divine children in a divine one verse, playing a divine game of love for the divine beloved, as love, in love, and for love. Thus, the tender words we say to each other are stored in the sacred soul of the cosmos. One day, like rain, they will fall and spread, that our story will grow green over the world. I teach you all. Watch time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when the run and bass drop. I rose up, took a shower, purified my auric field, took copper for a wall to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, I've more to build. Solid foundation, my crown chakra, core and heel, pound the pavement. Sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman and child. Rid the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. Is the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each path, simple highest form, spiritualities, how you teach math, a humble beast is still a beast. Now feel the beast wrath, rain fire upon them, and the internet forms, sigils, emojis, and the avatars that wore them. Destroy this de facto government and its quorums. Establish Big Ma house so she may restore him. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when rhyme and bass drop. The next host, note to self, quit playing, hit the gas, this shaft is called my turn, take the risk, it's fast. Most of them got vaccinated with chips in their ass, plus Rappers sacrificing each other for grist of the cash. Watch videos without the subliminals. Predictive programming weirdo. Shrunk menstrual shows. The land's contaminated. Fruits and vegetables. Black minerals, the water and skies I fry. Liquid chemicals, technology. Got me here in front of my desktop perusing these beats and whatnot for my best option contemplating. Which bar will next spot to unlock the minds that are stuck within a Xbox off the chart? I continue to climb, watching the rest flop like carp fishing, 100% fresh shark water. I'm on the front line, X marks the spot. I shine because of her, for she's the best part. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates this spark. Ways the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Ways the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge one is when the run and bass drops.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. It's time for a change, got a bounce up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style's too late when apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Locked down, silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down with suppressors attached to the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger prophet like Farrakhan, backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protected service. Quick to pull the clock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand or kneels too late when the caps get peeled. Don't believe in TC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red in my vision through sight. It's killer be killed whenever I fight. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. All the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' win them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean an I.
family? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? Let me put this in. I actually had it on the phone here. But yeah, they had this movie out. Now this is an anime, and it says Migration. They had a movie last month. I'm not going to mention the name. Some of y'all should know about it. It's alluding to what's going on. It's like they tell you every time. It's like somebody said to me, right? We're going to get into reading after this. They said, why is it that you don't recognize the months and all that? I says, first of all, April, May, look, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November has nothing to do with the true. First of all, it's by the narrative of 28 days is 13 months. Those months that y'all keep spewing out, just like these days of the weeks, have everything to do with this fictional place called Rome and tax. You don't even know what you're putting energy into. But how do you know this? You know, there still was some old wise ones in the world in the 80s, y'all, 70s and 60s. Just because you didn't hear it doesn't mean it's not true. So subliminally, they condition everybody, even with stuff that doesn't point to migration. Okay? The narrative painted before you is a complete fallacy. It's by sociopaths. I mean, think about this. You got Hunter Biden, you have Pelosi's husband, 80 years old, with coke, probably crack, and other drugs. And that's just two when it's well known that the majority of them are drunks and alcoholics, drug addicts anyway. Yet they want to tell you you can't have weed and this because you got little stormtroopers running around based on policies, not knowing the law or anything. They take an oath after that. They forget. They don't even know. They never knew what you were saying. They're just saying it because it feels good to get done and make it through, police academy and all that other dumb stuff. The conditioning, that adaptation, and the utilizing of mindless, brainless idiots is a real thing. I know some of you are saying, but my birthday, oh man, so you're taxed on your birthday. Don't you have a trust? Do you have it? I know they're talking about Sister Witchclaw with her allodial title she had to go overseas to get because this government is fictional. They say DC is a country within a country. This government, the politicians have nothing to do with this land until people realize it. Until people realize it. You're going to stay a slave to the narrative because the narrative is a lie. Therefore, you hearken and bark and hold on to a lie that you have no reason to participate in. You are autochthonous. You are more. You are at the hill, as in the scriptures. They can't hide that. Because that's where you are. Isn't it funny how these so-called yous, Chazars, or whatever you want to call them, I can say what I can and what I want, all right? Because that's how powerful I am. Not this materialistic world of power, the endeavors of falsitudes. What's the happens when you can't agree? Nigga, I go out there for 6 months and sip water and make it and grow a garden and partake and be used to it and adapted to it because in that time I will have ascended beyond my place right now. See, they really believe they got a lock and they can always sneak in the little dummies who don't know no better. While the doctors are doing autopsies or whatever you want to call those individuals or things, and they're attempting to figure out what it is, why this person's not here, why did they leave? Let's put another one in place. Let's see if we can figure it. There's no figuring it out. Everybody thinks it's a game. I can take it. The shadows aren't. They watch around, they watching you, they looking how you move and everything. Because y'all choose not to come together to learn the things that are of importance. There is no black Messiah. That means a dead Messiah. All right? You know who you are and you stand on it. Or you capitulate and fall down. Every time somebody get a little piece of something, they don't do the puzzle. They run with that piece as if they got a whole picture. They don't know if it's the train in the picture, if it's the bottom part of a sycamore tree, a pine, whatever. They don't know if it's the foundation at the bottom of the window, that piece of a house. They don't know what they got, but they run with that. Take that piece, put it in your pocket until you find all the other people holding all the other puzzle pieces. Or unless you start putting them together. Are y'all starting to see? I set this up over 20-something minutes ago and no notification sent out. You wonder why. Then I go on there and I see a couple of my shorts getting views, like over 1,000, I'm like, wow, really? The intrepidation of their social dilemma, of the mitigation of their fragile, fractured, pulpous minds is phenomenal. Let's go ahead and get into reading. What I'm drinking is lime and water. I poured a little more because I was pretty parched. I actually had to do something with the OnStar, and then I went back out and decided to walk and run a little bit more. It's in my DNA. Anyway, let's go ahead. We're going to get into, of course, Exposing the Expositions of 1851, 1915. This is the revised 2021 edition from his 2019 by Howdy Mickoski. And then we'll definitely get into Heaven Bearers. Oh, it's going to get good. So how are y'all doing? Hey, Mikey Cox, Rondo, Marcus. What's going on, beloveds? Alicia Cooper. Hey, what's going on? Voodoo Child. Hey, appreciate that, beloved. Y'all stay healthy and look good as well. Like Alicia Cooper, Delusion of Humanity. I'm grateful you got that on. Hey, if you, Rondo, if you're recording this, your original Lone Wolf, what's up, beloved? If you're recording this, hold them, all right? I don't know. Do you got a terabyte? What do you got? How many gigs? Because I have like a couple of teras. You know what I'm saying? I'm not recording it, so I have it where everybody can download it though. I appreciate it, beloved. So let's go ahead and get into this. So you remember where we left off yesterday, right? Okay. Let's jump right in and hold on and listen and just pay attention, all right? Because you're gonna hear key things, all right, to show that all the history is a lie. Everything that they laid out before you is a lie. And there are people that knew, because I've had people in my family who are much older than me saying, "Oh, I feel sorry for what they're going to teach y'all at that school." And there's a female, I'm not going to mention her name, she's not here, a wonderful female. She's like, "I know we got to teach you this stuff, but just know that a lot of it ain't true." Miss Winston, the one had to whoop my butt when I was walking around talking about, "My name is Homer and Silver." So my great-grandma, and my great-grandma was like, "Boy, didn't I tell you don't say that in school?" Winston tell me, "You don't say that," with a finger, big old black finger. Just, you know better, but a big old curly hair. "Oh, you know what I gotta do." And she put that paddle on me, boy, just about 4 or 5 times. Send me back out there. Well, she'd tell me, "Sit down and soak and get your head together. And I told you don't do it, huh? I'm trying to keep you alive." I didn't understand that then. I do today. So let's get into it. Oh, excuse me. Here we go. For anybody that want to purchase it, Baby Girl Slaughter and a couple of people do purchase the books, and I'm going to tell you the page for those who have it if you want to follow along. But that's it if you want to purchase it, okay? Anyway, granted there are photographs of the fair construction happening. The article quoted 2 paragraphs above states that people would pay 25 cents to watch it. Of course, there are no references to exactly what the people paying the 25 cents were watching. And the photos that do exist of construction are odd. Most of them show buildings with the entire base finished, but with a layer of scaffolding along it. It might be indicating construction work, or more likely painting work. They were making everything white to create a white superiority, which you see a lot of individuals running around with, which is a complexity in itself. At times, there is work being done on a dome, sometimes construction, sometimes renovation. That leads to the question, was the building in fact built? Or perhaps just the dome added to it? If it was an original building, did it have a different dome and all that was done was to change domes? These are good questions. You may notice photos with no building materials on site, none of them, majority of them, excuse me, on site, save a giant stack of wood planks, which can be used for scaffolding. Is that all the building materials that were needed when making troughs or anything? It is often one horse, one guy, and some wood. I said I have a few pictures with melanated people pushing, I guess, big versions of wheelbarrow with a donkey or mule in front. Oh yeah, in these grand cities. This type of photo will appear again and again, especially with the construction photos from the St. Louis Exposition. So you can pull that up, all right? The St. Louis Exposition, go ahead and look for the photos of that. You don't have to worry about the year because it's the exposition, okay? Where we have hundreds of pictures that show that in hundreds, y'all, the entire site from above. Yet not even the stack of wood planks, just scaffold completed buildings and with no materials or workers around from above, people. Do I believe many of the buildings were temporary for this fair? Absolutely. They had to be. I guarantee things like the giant Midway area had to be newly built. I have found building photos from the 1897 fair in Tennessee that very clearly show buildings with a state of wood inner construction. And there are similar photos in the White City, all right, documentary for Chicago. So y'all can look that up. But there are so many photos that tend to reveal original structures. The question is, how many were temporarily built? Structures that required a new building. And in parentheses it states, and were the ones that were photographed. They were the ones that were photographed. And how many were already there, at least partially, and simply needed restoration but not photographed. One last telling feature to mention is that so far no one has been able to locate any blueprints for any of the fair buildings. Blueprints for many early buildings survive, but not one of building plans for anything at the exposition. The building seemed to go up without complication in 2 years, but then shortly after the fair began came new building projects. Those did not go as smoothly, such as the Coliseum. Originally, Chicago had a Coliseum that held horse shows, boxing, and circus events starting in 1866. We know what year that was. However, there is no real documentation as to when this building was built, or even when it closed. Just some 30 years later, there was a need for new second Coliseum. This is important for our exposition section because it was built in Woodlawn on a part of the torn down Columbia Exposition. The construction began in 1895, 1 year after the fair ended, and was built on a 14-acre site. Yet on August 22nd, the building collapsed and had to be restarted. When complete, it finished at 300 by 700 feet and 100 feet high using 2.5 million pounds of steel, 3.2 million feet of lumber, and 3 million bricks. This building of medium size found at the fair, it should have had the same workers and architects. Now, with the knowledge of having just built 200 of these, but this one collapses, obviously from poor construction methods. How can that be when the work crews should be experts by now? It opened in July of 1896 with a Buffalo Bill Wild West show when they started indoctrinating the Mongols. Because you know they had started establishing, I forget how many of them, Indian training schools. Okay. The Coliseum took a full year to build. So how did the entire Columbian Exposition get built in 2 years? But they were not just building the fair during this time frame. They needed to build some other magic buildings all over Chicago as well, as if they did not have enough to do or to build 690 acres for the fair. They had to construct a few other Roman Gothic style monuments that had nothing to do with the exposition. It is sort of like NASA, you know, just losing all the original photos and videos from the moon landing. You dig what I'm saying? I figured y'all might want to hear that. Is that some heavy stuff or what? Next, we'll be getting into the university. Oh, yeah. A lot of you already know that a lot of these so-called universities were totalitarian buildings that had nothing to do with no damn education system, but were marginally used by the Gujars to miseducate, to take the children, and to create a new narrative and a new world and a new lie. Okay? I got a TB hard drive. I need another one. Okay, brother. Let's go ahead and get to Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood by Janine Helene. That was pretty interesting, wasn't it? When I got this book, people were like, where you get that book at? Huh? Somebody from Germany who I chat with on Skype was like, hey, Red, you need to really look into this book, bro. I took it down like, 4 months ago, Skype. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, check out Janine Helene's Heaven Bearers, bro. And so he sent me with a picture, and there's a few different covers. And I was like, going to get it. And man, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I couldn't wait to read this. I'm reading this right now, I believe, for the second time, maybe third. I don't know. I mean, on YouTube. I've read it quite a few times. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 in a Mud Flood by Janine Helene, okay? In case you want to purchase it. And there she is in. She is right there. She's in South America, but look at the building. South Africa, excuse me. Yes, you see that? That's South Africa, people. Cape. Mm-hmm. They want you to believe slave and all that other nonsense. Man, I told you I served with a bunch of them in the military. They didn't know nothing about no slaves and being taught. They said a whole bunch of y'all came over there. They said, well, oh man, there was so many of y'all came in there. Even that James Taylor made war and was kicking people's butts. And just saying. Anyway, let's get into it. So we were talking about Ezekiel and all those individuals yesterday. So y'all should remember, okay? And the body, King Fed, her dreams, my apologies, her dreams and everything like that. So here we go. They have arrived at their destination and she is suddenly nervous. Now what? She questions. She never thought about what to do when they finally arrived in Edmonton. The only thing she worried about was getting to this point. Where do we go from here? Henry asked while staring at all the people. Where are they all going? There are about 100 humans, and they are dressed in rags and barefoot. Sound familiar? They range from all ages, young and old. Some even look to be only children, and she is left speechless by what she sees. They are carrying pickaxes, spades, and other tools. There are Phoenicians on horseback patrolling them with whips in their hands, and the humans are terrified, cold, and hungry. She wants to kill them all and let these people go immediately. It is premature, Bonnie. Keep your calm and find Cassiel. It is her mother's voice in her head, and she knows she is right. She grabs Henry by the hand, and they start walking in the opposite direction. We need to find a place to stay. I need to take a bath, and I need some proper food, she says as she marches away from the train station with Henry battling to keep up with her fast pace. They walk around until she finds a fancy-looking hotel. This place is perfect. She starts to walk towards the hotel, but Henry stops her. We have no money, Bonnie. He is defeated and drained. His journey must have been really difficult, and she can see the exhaustion on his face now. Trust me, Henry. I have made it this far with luck on my side. You need to have a little faith in me. He reluctantly follows her inside and sits down in the lobby chair. Everyone who walks by stares at him, and he knows he doesn't belong here. He wants to get up and leave, but Bonnie gestures for him to stay where he is. There is a young Tartarian man behind the front desk, and she musters up a friendly smile and approaches him. Good day, sir. I am looking for a room with 2 double beds, please. Sure. Oui, madame. Sure, madame. I will need to speak to your husband. He pauses and looks over. She pauses and looks over at Henry. We are not that kind of establishment. You understand? She smiles, but she doesn't understand why he is not mesmerized by her like the rest of them. She takes a step back and rubs her stomach so that he can see she is pregnant, But this doesn't make a difference. Please come back with your husband. Otherwise, I can't help you, madame. He says rudely and looks down at the desk. He is wearing something on a silver chain around his neck. And she wonders what it is. Madame, please, I have other customers. He is visibly irritated with her, and she rolls her eyes at him. Why isn't he helping her? She wonders. She walks over to Henry and takes a seat next to him and sighs out in full defeat. While she thinks about another way, she starts to daydream about Malcolm and the mansion and how she wishes she was home right now. She is tired and hungry, and for the first time, she doesn't want to carry on with the journey. Henry, stand up and come with me. She suddenly latches onto his arm, tight like a vicious dog, and drags him along while she walks back to the reception desk. Here is my husband. Now can I have a room? She asks the man angrily. I am sorry, madame. We don't cater to Tartarian men. Phoenician men only, and of course their wives of any kind. He replies sternly. Listen here. What is your name? She snaps, and her eyes start turning bright blue. Diesel? He replies cautiously and is very unsure of himself suddenly. What is around your neck, Diesel? Her eyes go dark, and she starts to intimidate him, so he instinctively grabs hold of whatever is underneath his shirt. I want a room for my friend and I won't be paying for it. Bill is my husband when I leave. She commands him and is not willing to take no for an answer. She grabs the fountain pen from his hand, dips the tip carefully into the black ink. We created the pen, and writes something on a piece of paper, then hands it to him. So Cashapp. She hands him the note, and he pretends he doesn't know what to do with it. She stretches out her hand and glances at him, and he immediately hands her a set of keys. Enjoy, oui, madame. He is still clutching onto the object and is visibly unnerved. Thank you, Diesel. I really do appreciate you helping a fellow Tartarian. She snaps sarcastically, and gives him a funny and mean look. He waits for her to leave and asks his colleague to cover for him. He rushes out the back of the hotel as fast as he can and almost trips over the sidewalk. His legs feel like jelly, and his heart is beating like he is running for his life. It is her, he thinks to himself, and can feel a sense of relief rush over him, and it fills him with hope. He walks 2.5 miles until he arrives at an old pub. He stops at the entrance and looks for someone inside. His eyes scan the room, but he is not here. He turns around and clutches the object around his neck and is about to leave when he hears his name. Nizio, my boy, aren't you supposed to be at work? A man in his early 30s walks up to him with a half smile. He has long blonde hair that is tied in a ponytail, and his pants are torn and too big for his small frame. I have news. He hands him the note that Bonnie had written and given to him at the hotel. Where did you get this? His gaze is automatically strong and serious, and he clutches the piece of paper like it is a sheet of gold paper, and he wants to keep it close to him. A woman gave it to me just now. Her eyes were as blue as the ocean, and she tried to read my thoughts. She was Tartarian and pregnant, and very pregnant. His voice starts to shake. He is visibly perturbed by what he experienced. Go find Aiden. Hurry! He barks, and Diesel runs off. He sniffs the piece of paper and can smell her on it. She is Tartarian, but there is something else that he can smell, and he doesn't recognize it. A short while later, Aiden hurries up the street towards him. Aiden is elderly, one of the few very old Tartarians who survived the mud flood. He lost his entire family to the flood, and he himself barely survived it. The boy told me, "Tell me what you are thinking," he asked, unsure of what is happening. Aiden looks around and wipes his mouth with a piece of cloth, and he coughs loudly until he catches his breath. Please put a 1. Please put a 1, because I think they just hijacked the live. I may be wrong. Somebody, because Rondo, I know you'll put a 1 pretty quick, and Marcus and everyone. I think they may have hijacked it. Number 7 just came in. Somebody put a 1, please. Thank you, Rondo. Thank you, Mikey. We need to go inside. She is on her way. He looks up at the canopy. Thank you, Marcus William. And knows the time for change has arrived, finally. They walk inside and wait in a separate room to the other patrons, 4 of them. They order some ale and fresh bread and eat it contentedly, but don't speak to one another. There is a knock on the door, and Aiden grips his knife tightly. Who is there? It is me, Reva, replies a soft voice from behind the door. The door handle turns, and Aiden relaxes his grip upon his knife. Come inside quickly, he barks in excitement and places his hand flat onto the table and grins with the joy and hope fills his eyes. She takes a seat across from him, and she is also wearing an object around her neck that has the same shape as the one the young man from the hotel wore. It consists of 6 triangles there that are all attached to a small circle in the center. It is made of a type of stone, light blue and gray in color, and it glimmers when the sun touches it just right. Hand me the piece of paper, Bert, Aiden asks with an undertone of irritation, and he hands it politely to Riva. Bert does as he is asked, and the 3 of them stare at the single name written on it. She is Tartarian. I can smell it. But there is something else there too, Bert says. She is proud of his observation and takes his last sip of ale. I can't smell anything, Riva replies confused and looks over at Bert and then Aiden. Can you smell something else, Aiden? He nods that he does not and balls his hands into fists and slams them playfully on the table and stares at Riva. And I don't think it is her. Bert cries out in frustration, crumbles the now seemingly worthless piece of paper up in his hand and throws it to the corner of the room. How much longer must we wait? He gets up and leaves the pub in anger. Riva and Aiden remain seated at the table in complete silence and individually contemplate what to do next. Each of them is smiling and happy. Genuinely happy, that is. It is her, isn't it? Questionably, Riva looks over at Aiden just to make sure she isn't making a very false assumption. He fingers the dent on the table and his expression tells her all she needs to know. We need to alert Cashapp at once, he says, and his eyes glimmer with hope for the first time in 17 years. We're going to hold it off of that. Cliffhanger, of course. I hope that reading was okay. I know you love these names. A lot of these names, though it sounds like it's a pale skin narrative, it's not. You got to remember, they were doing Tartary right along with us. We're not talking about the Gujars, okay? And she has to play it safe. Y'all know this, right? You need to remember it. I'm going to tell the story, and you need to make it practical. As in the beginning of the book, when she saw all types of children, okay? So next it's going to get a little more, it's going to be a little more with freaking flyer hours, okay? And I hope you really appreciate it. But anyway, as I stated, if you look at some of the movies that have come out over the last few months, it's not an illusion. And you can see the perversion. Until the majority of people realize this and are actually together to be a voice of one, you're still going to be dealing with the obscurity and the perversions, whether they pull you over and everything else in their ignorance. The totalitarian state of mind can only work as long as we remain ignorant. You dig what I'm saying? But anyway, I appreciate you guys. And yes, I'm thinking about 7 o'clock. Maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to set it up, a podcast to discuss. Hopefully everybody in the different states will come in and, without swearing and all that other stuff, expand on the knowledge of what's going on based on the last 6 months alone. We don't have to go back 2 years. Of what's going on in your cities or suburbs or state with the migration. So I'm going to set it up roughly about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, and maybe 7. And I may come back on and read. All right, this other, you know what I'm talking about, the Negro Project, and of course, William Cooper. I be hold the pale horse. So if I come back at 7, by that time I will have set up for the podcast, well, for tomorrow evening. And hopefully all of you will gladly join. So that way we can reciprocate what's going on. And it's with caution. Let's put it like that. Okay. So people can be a little more informed instead of what the media is saying. All right. Because they're being very obstructive. Okay. And you know who controls the media. All right. So if that's cool, it's the sisters whenever you're out here because they're about to get off work, and the brothers, y'all share this. I appreciate it. It's nothing but love and light. Okay. And we'll see y'all maybe at 7. But definitely I will have the podcast set up, and I would love to hear what's going on in your part of or neck of the woods. All right. Thank you. And y'all can donate for the friggin' books. It's like, it's the same people over and over, man. Well, I appreciate it. And I know, I did order a few. So they should be coming here February 14th, 16th, and 17th. I'm still waiting on 3 more. You know, I've received about 15 books. You saw one at the 12, and I received 3 more. One was just mine I bought. I haven't shared it. You saw the other 2. And obviously there was a key in my box, but it was from this weekend. And it was just my plant-based iron tea. So that's and Dijal, like not fake liniment, but Dijal I used when I was doing iron palm and conditioning my hands to break boards and stuff. So I got that small bottle. I want to sample it. It's not the one that ToLU'S Ukade used to give Darren Cheap Two Bears Ross. I miss him. I don't like saying the name like that or the platform, but I miss him a lot. His stuff was real, okay? Because y'all know he was a martial artist, a master, Silong Kung Fu and a lot. He was a principal chief. He has family in Arizona here and a few other places. Beautiful children. And in Jersey, he was the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. But anyway, I respect and love you guys, and look out for that, and set your what's that? Your clocks or your watches. Set it for the podcast so you can be on there. All right. I am Baby Girl Slaughter. Much love. What's going on, sis? I'm signing off. Been on for 47. I know they're mitigating and missing with they don't want to announce my presence, which is it's cool. All right. So anyway, well, I'm signing off, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everything. Susan Thomas, hey, what's going on, beloved? It's good to have some sisters in here. God, dog, speak up and be with gratitude. Anyway, donations, the rest of the books, let's get it, okay? I know, a month and a week, right? Let's shoot for Friday again. I'm not perturbed. I just know it's possible, all right? Anyway, holla at y'all shortly.